I'm Eddie V. Welcome to the channel, and today we're gonna go actually fish store shopping at Palmetto Reef, and we are actually gonna go buy some fish food, and hopefully we can get some kopi pods and a few frozen food. I'm gonna show you also, guys, what I feed my fish with, the saltwater fish, on a daily basis. Interesting. All right, so we're here at the Palmetto Reef, and we're gonna see what's interesting today in the tanks. Good selection today, actually, to be honest. The coral tank, crawfish and banana meter. This tank looks cool. And this looks cool. Just beautiful here. Beautiful. Oh yeah. All right, so now time to what we came for. Will,
Let's check out that tank.
what's up? You
How's
like
it
going
going?
on YouTube?
Not really.
Not really?
I guess I'm on YouTube though. How's it going?
Good. What do you got for kopi pods today? You got any?
I do ticker pods. Reef nutrition ticker pods.
For a little bit.
And also, I need some brine shrimp.
Alright. You want omega enriched, spirulina, one of each?
I'll take this because I got the mix like at home, but I need more shrimp in the tank when I'm feeding. So we got that today. Look at that here. This is what I'm gonna be showing you guys how to do it. Okay, so what we have here is a wide variety of foods that I feed. I make a special blend of all these combined. So, but first, I do have a mandarin goby in my tank. So I did go ahead and get this from Palmetto Reef. I think it was like $30. So you fuel this depending on the need of how fast the food disappears from the tank. Sometimes it's a month, sometimes it's 2 months. And also depends on how much live rock you got in the tank. So these are tiger pods. Yes, these are live food for the mandarin goby. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna let it float around in the tank, or actually what I do is I put it by the flow in my sump. And I do that for 20 minutes. So the tiger pods will get acclimated to the water temperature, so they don't die and actually live in the tank as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so this is where I put this bottle of tiger pods in. As you can see, my sump has a flow right there where it goes through the filtration. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually put it in there for about 20 minutes and let it warm up. Now it's time for me to show you guys how I do my special blend. Alright, so now I'm up here and I'll show you what I actually do for a special blend. And you could actually store this in your freezer for whatever the volume of food you're actually making. It's basically just frozen food that got thawed out and put back together. So it's basically frozen food in your own form, so it really does not go bad. So what I like to do is I like to add the silver size, which is a type of small minnow. The Niger triggerfish loves them. He munches on them. And actually, I've seen the yellow tang and the copper-banded butterfly fish attack him, but I do get like a piece or two, and I break them apart. Now we also have here what I like to add. These are fish eggs. These are fish eggs that the mandarin goby specifically loves to eat. It's also a coral food, so your coral will eat that as well, and it gives more nutrients as well. Other types of fish eat it as well, like I believe the copper-banded butterfly fish eats that as well. Yellow tang eats it as well. It's a good nutrition to them. So what I do is I chop off a chunk, and then I put that in the cup right here. And you also don't want to do too much, because the company also makes like 3 different sizes of fish eggs that they collect. There's 3 different sizes because it's depending on the size of your fish. Next, what I like to do is, yes, I do add flake food to it. You could add, it just becomes soft. The fish will still eat it. So yes, you can mix it in with your frozen food. So I get about a pinch in there. You don't want too much because your main nutrition is from the frozen mysis and brine shrimp. So I use PE mysis for the mysis shrimp, and what I do is I grab and pop out 2 cubes, put that in as well. And then as far as the brine shrimp, I use many different companies. I use San Francisco. I also use this Japanese company. I think it's called Hikarai. I don't know how to pronounce it, but you put 2 cubes in there as well. And then next we got Reef Frenzy Nano. It's made by LRS. And it's basically a mix, a bunch of shrimp, scallops, and krill and squid all together. So what I do is I break up a chunk in the bag. This is a really good food if you have more aggressive fish like triggerfish, because they do munch on the big chunkier pieces. So I'm gonna throw that in there. And the last one is my favorite, because if you have problem with ick and your fish getting sick, this is an anti-parasitic caviar. What that does is when they eat it in their system, it kills it off because it has garlic in there. So you don't want a lot because it can kill coral if it gets stuck in the coral. So what I do is I add about a capful. But you got to shake it up first because it settles to the bottom, and you want as much of that anti-parasitic caviar as possible. So when I put that in there, I go grab the cup and pour some water. Alright, so I added this much water in there, not a lot, just enough to thaw it out. And when it thaws out, I do mix it in together, and then I feed a portion of it to the fish. And depending on how many fish you got in your tank and how big they are and how much they consume, it could be anywhere from a day to 4 days of food available in there in the mix. It just depending on how much you want to make. But this is how I do it, so the next video will show how it looks like when I do feed them. Alright, so we had the pods in getting acclimated to the water temperature for quite a while. So the very next thing what we're going to do is we're going to take off this cap, and I'm going to show you guys that there is a trick to properly placing them. So what you're gonna do is, since they're all mixed up, you're actually gonna pour some directly in the tank, and you're also gonna pour some in your filter system. So I'm gonna pour some here, and then we're gonna pour a little bit down into the filter system right over here. Now, why do you pour them in the filter system? Well, you pour them in the filter system because, yes, when you supply your tank with tiger pods, they will reproduce in there. So what you're going to do is when you put it in the filter system, they're going to reproduce in there and spread around the whole tank. And since they're in the filter system, they're not going to get eaten by any of the fish in there, which can be sometimes the copper bend or butterfly fish, and of course the mandarin goby, wherever it is. Alright, so the very next thing is I'm going to feed my fish, and everything is well thawed out in the cup. As you can see here, we got our special blend fully mixed, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour a portion into the tank. And they are hungry, they do know me very well. So I'm going to go ahead and pour a portion into the tank. Just enough, not too much. And that's pretty much how much about I feed. As you can see, the copper banded butterfly fish does eat and does very well. I need to make a video on him. But yeah, that's how you feed your fish. The next thing you want to do is you want to store the rest away in the freezer. And every day just pour water, let it thaw out completely. It will be like an ice cube, but let it completely thaw out, and then pour it into the tank